Welcome back to the Coach Dad podcast, where we talk faith, family, and the mindset it takes to raise champions on and off the field. I'm your host, Mama Rush, and I'm glad you're here. Today's episode is about favor and loyalty. Let's get into it. Good morning, Coach Dad.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am well. And you?
I'm doing great. Let's talk about what happened this week.
Well, we had a disappointing loss. David's team lost in the semifinals, but the boys fought really hard. He lost in the fourth quarter. David was able to, fortunately enough, able to, contribute some plays, but unfortunately, we didn't have enough to come home with the victory. But we're really proud of him and his team.
The guys did really well.
Yeah, and right now, as we wait to another day, it's now track season.
And so just like that, we're in track season.
We're in track season. So it'll be David and Michelle cooking it up, high school track. And we're excited. I'm definitely excited, ready to crank up this track season.
Yes. So you're going to be hearing a lot more about Michelle now that we're in track season. Yeah. All right. So I see on the production note, we're talking about favor and loyalty. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the title is so short and sweet. Normally we give a little bit more, but I don't even have very much more about what we're talking about. So I'm kind of excited about what this is about.
Yes. And so before we get into the title, favor and loyalty, we're going to get into those topics. There's a lot in between. When you think about favor, one of the things that came to me during these production notes that favor allows you to walk on top of the same waters that other people drown in.
Ooh, explain that.
Okay. When you've been gifted to do a certain thing,
right?
Whether that's football, basketball, in your everyday life, whether at work or
creative writing, you name it.
What comes simple to you
is hard for others.
It's hard for others. Okay. And so what comes with that is both praise and persecution.
You mean with favor comes praise and persecution?
With favor on any level comes praise and persecution.
I can see that.
There'll be cheering from the sidelines.
Right.
But there'll be others who will completely pick you apart.
Right.
And what we don't do a good enough job of doing is training ourselves and our children to navigate those spaces, because we assume everybody should be cheering.
Right.
But that's not the case at all.
That's not the case, yeah.
And whenever you are truly gifted, you stand out. You're set apart,
right.
which invokes both admiration and jealousy.
Right.
And so people looking from the sidelines saying, hey, he's no better than me. She's no better than me. I can do that. And reality is no. You can do that, but not at the clip that they do.
Got it. Exactly.
Right.
So talk about this then. How do you prepare our children?
Right.
And then how do you also prepare them when they come into contact with someone who's gifted in a certain thing, mm-hmm. how they should react if they're not gifted in that thing?
Right. So one of the things that I challenge our children to do is add the hard work to their favor.
Okay, so explain that.
Okay. So when you're favored or when you're gifted at a certain thing, that's great on your current level. But when you're aspiring to get to a higher level, you get to a place where everybody's gifted.
Right.
Now, what sets you apart?
Okay. That's when you talk about being great and then being elite.
Yeah, being elite. So colleges come in, they want to recruit great players, but they eventually want you to transition from greatness to elite.
Got it.
And that elite is separated by not just gifting, but the work that goes with it.
Okay.
And so even on your job, what happens when you get promoted from a manager to
a director,
yeah. or a supervisor or a senior executive, whatever that is? Now you are among other greats.
Exactly. Okay. So basically when you level up.
Yes.
Yeah. You start back at
square one.
Square one. Yeah. You've got to move up in that level.
But there's a lot that goes with that. How do you navigate the emotional spaces of both being praised and ridicule, of being admired and persecuted. How do you navigate those spaces so that you continue to keep your focus on the main thing? You don't get caught up in the fray.
Mm,
So, give you case in point. When Elijah became a 5 star, he had so many admirers, but he had so many haters.
I remember that.
Even teammates, coaches, people were saying things behind the scenes, and oh, he's really not that good, and he's really not this, and he's really not that. And all that is a recognition that you can't be on that level. And there's something in you that's jealous of that.
Right.
Or your kid can't be on that level. And there's something in you because there's no reason to tear down anyone for any
Yeah,
reason.
no one's talking about me on the football field.
Right.
You
but
know?
but there's no reason to go there unless there's some level of jealousy, envy, whatever that additional thing is. And you simply have to be able to navigate that. And generally, those who have the loudest uh, opinion can't perform the same task.
Understood. So for I'm a parent. So as a parent, I'm saying
Yeah,
I'm a parent, duh. As a parent,
yeah.
how am I training my kid to quiet that noise and continue to perform at a level so that when they do get to that next level, they go from great to elite?
Well, you have to teach them, one, to divorce themselves from their emotions,
Right.
and then two, not to take it personal.
At every level, they're going to have some level of this.
And it's an acknowledgement that you're at a higher level.
You
I
know,
heard Cat Williams
mhm,
reference this one time. He said, if you don't have any haters, you haven't accomplished anything.
that makes sense.
And you need to figure out how you're going to get from 10 haters to 20 haters and from 20 haters to 100,
Wow.
because that tells me you're leveling up. That tells me you're going to another place.
That comes with the territory.
Comes with the territories. Jesus talked about righteousness. He said, for the righteous shall be persecuted,
Right.
not might be,
Right. Right.
will be.
Will be.
That's a part of it. And there'll be some who will say, hey, that's a good man. That's a good woman right there.
Yeah.
That's a good kid. And there'll be some that'll say, that kid ain't nothing.
Right.
But that's a part of acknowledgement. And you have to teach your kid not to take that personal. That comes with the territory.
Right. So I also want to talk about when they encounter a teammate who's great. How do they set themselves apart by not being one of the haters, but by being one of the encouragers, by being the guy that cheers for the other guy? And I
Right.
think we have an example of this with our other guy.
Well, that's a part of building character in your kid. Remember, I told you that we build capacity in our children.
Right.
We help shape their character, and they're watching what you're doing in your everyday life.
Right.
Are you an encourager? Are
Are
you
you cheering
building?
for someone
Are
else's
you
kid?
cheering for somebody else's kid?
Yeah.
Are you building people up? Or are you tearing them down? And they will replicate and mimic what you do.
I want to get into one of the questions that I see here. Paint a picture of a moment when your ego wanted to instruct, but the spirit nudged you to listen, and a son or a daughter ended up being the teacher. What shifted in your parenting because of that?
There was a time when I'm talking to Elijah about a situation, and I want to overparent in the moment, and he says to me that I can only be where my feet are. I can only control what I can control, and I can't worry about that kind of thing. And I had to take a step back and say, you know what, you're right, you're right,
He sounds exactly like that sounds like something that you exactly would say.
and exactly something I would say. But in that moment, I had to be the listener
Right.
and the student and say to myself, hey, let's reflect. You're overparenting. Step back. Don't stress him out in this moment. Let him do what he
I
does.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, you put another surprise for me in these production notes. Please tell me, what is the 12-foot garage clearance? Talk to me about that.
So that's in line with what we were talking about with humility. I
Okay.
heard somebody telling a story about trying to get this big SUV into a garage, and it was a 12-foot garage clearance. And they figured The only way they can get it is to deflate the tires a little bit so that they can get underneath the clearance and get the truck into the garage. And so that analogy is sometimes we have to deflate our pride. We have to deflate our ego in order to get into spaces. Just like we were talking about what happens when there's another elite kid or there's a kid better than them.
Right.
Are they willing to humble themselves? In the Bible, it talks about it's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter heaven. What people don't understand about that is not talking about the eye of a sewing needle. The eye of a needle was an actual entrance into the city where the camels had to be stripped of everything they were carrying and they had to come crawling in on their knees in order to get through the clearance
Right.
to get into the city. And the reason why that is attached to the rich man is he willing to strip himself
Because he's got so much
because
stuff.
he's got so much stuff, just like the rich young ruler who comes to Jesus and says, I kept all the commandments, I've done all these things. And Jesus says, okay, sell all that you have, pick up your cross and follow me. And he walks away
He walks away.
because he couldn't strip himself of all those things.
Mm.
Same concept. Do you teach or model for your child that humility, that I'm not bigger than my situation? I'm
Yeah.
not bigger than anybody else on the team. In fact, there may be people I have to learn from.
Right.
But if I don't show that I can humble my ego, why would they?
That makes sense.
Right. And so it's that modeling of humility that's necessary, and they will only do what you do.
I feel like in a way that also teaches them that you're unique. You're you.
Yeah.
You're not him. You're not her. Be the best version of you
Yeah.
and be okay with that.
Right.
Be okay with a big personality coming in the room.
And don't be a jerk.
Yeah. And don't be a jerk. You're about to make me cuss, please. Because I just don't like that. I don't like that,
Yeah. But do you have the humility? That's what that 12-foot clearance is about.
Yeah.
Can you lower yourself to get into the spaces? Because there's another saying that Jesus has in the Bible, never just go sit at the head table. Sit and wait to be invited.
Right.
Humble yourself and let someone elevate you versus you elevate yourself as though you're more important than everything.
All right. We're switching gears here. Give us some practical signs. This is very applicable. This is for application.
Mm-hmm.
What are some practical signs a family has outgrown a place, a team, a routine, a mindset, and it's time to step into a new land, even if it looks like a valley?
So that's an interesting segue and an interesting question, because many times you feel stuck in a situation
Right.
and you call it loyalty.
Well, okay. I was going to say, how is that tying back? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the loyalty part.
This is the loyalty
Okay.
part.
I got
You
you.
feel stuck in a situation that you call loyalty. But the truth is, you're outgrown that situation and that land is no longer fertile
For you.
for you.
Right.
And
Okay.
there's no growth happening. And as a result, it's, God gives you a word to move into a new land. That's a scary thing.
Yes, it is.
So you stay stuck in this place and you call it loyalty, but your only loyalty is to God.
Right.
I may give you my commitment, but my commitment only lasts as long as God says so.
Right.
If God tells me to go down to Timnah or to Egypt or to wherever, that's where I'm going.
Got it.
And I have to be willing to move when he says move, to go into the land of milk and honey, even if it looks scary. As they went into the new land and they said they were as giants and we were as, uh, insects in their eyes.
Right.
And we have to get to a place where we can transition when the transitioning time is here.
That's scary though,
If,
because what are people going to say?
now, I'm so happy you said that, because it's also written, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death into those scary places,
Right.
I will not fear. Why?
Thou
Because
art
he's with me.
Yeah.
And his rod and his staff comfort me.
I get that. I just feel like it reminds me of difficult decisions we've had to make.
Yes.
and a fallout with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just so I'm standing here as a witness that you are about that life.
Yes.
Because yes, sir, you are about that life. If anyone had any question,
Were you, for our listeners, what do you
I
mean?
just mean, when difficult decisions have had to be made, and I'm going all the way back to Little League, all the way up to, decisions we've had to make even on the college scene. When you got a word, you stood on it.
Yep.
Rain, sleet, shine, you stood on it. You stood on it, period.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it
So,
was a popular one or a highly unpopular one, I got to give you credit. You stood on principle, period.
because my simple thought about it is, I may love you.
Yes.
I may have all the respect and admiration for you,
Right.
but my only loyalty is to the King,
Yep.
it's to God.
Right.
And again, though I've given you my commitment expires when God says so.
Right.
Not at your comfort level, not when you feel like it,
Correct.
not when you think it's the ideal time. And that doesn't mean I go flip flopping from place to place. But what it simply means is we're at a place for a season and a reason.
Right.
And when that season is over, we move on for a different reason.
Right. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Some people don't have the I would say the guts to walk out on that kind of thing. I'm just going to say that.
It's
It's not
truly
easy.
it's truly hard, but
It is hard.
if it was easy, it wouldn't take faith.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm glad you're kind of leading the charge here, because we would be all over the place if it was up to me. Don't even get me started. All right. Well, help us draw clean boundaries here. My loyalty belongs to God, you said.
Yeah.
I offer people my commitment, and that commitment lasts as long as the king says so.
Yeah.
What language do we use when others try to guilt us into sowing where God said no more?
So guilt trips.
Oh, guilt trips.
We've done that and we've been there. And I simply share with people, hey man, I love you. I respect what you got going on,
Right.
but God has moving into a different lane.
What I like about you and the way that I feel like I've seen you operate, especially, over the years, is with you, it's simply principle. Like, it honestly, truly, listen, it is not personal. This is not personal.
Right.
This is principle. This is the direction that we're going in. And that's it.
Right. And it's not limited to just people in the community. It's anybody.
It's anybody.
Family,
Yeah.
friends,
Yep.
loved one, anybody you can imagine. Because if I stay connected to a place that God has said move from and it's dead, I'm now sowing into barren ground,
Right.
unfertile ground.
And you're not by yourself. You got me, you got the whole group.
And I'm knowingly
Right. That's a lot of responsibility.
keeping you in harm's way because favor is no longer there.
But you're being loyal.
Again,
And I feel like that's a facade. Let's not call something loyalty that is nothing about loyalty. That's about comfort.
completely about comfort. So that's why I led with
People throw loyalty around. I see stuff on Instagram and TikTok. This so and so's just being loyal. That's not loyalty.
they're aiding your comfort is what they're doing, and you
Right.
calling it loyalty. But your comfort can't be the barrier to your success.
I'm covering my ears. I don't want to hear that.
Yep. Your comfort can't be the barrier to your success.
Yeah.
Because success exists in a place of uncomfortability. Success exists in a place of fear and hardship and the unknown.
It
And
reminds me
places
of
that you've
Noah.
never been. Yes.
Yeah. Building a ship.
Yep.
Building an ark in a place
That
that
has
hadn't
never known
seen
rain.
rain. Like, what are
Never
you
known
doing?
rain.
You're crazy.
Doesn't even, what do you mean, rain? What is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's
And
right
those
on
of you who
message.
don't know the story of Noah and the ark, Noah was building an ark in a place that had never seen rain. And he's talking about a flood. That how is it possible?
It's not even possible.
You must be a drunkard. You must be out of your mind. You're a fool. What are you doing? But he had to be faithful to what God gave him, no matter how many doubters, no matter how many naysayers.
I think it's important to say that the doubters and the naysayers are only going to be allowed to be doubters and naysayers for a season, because at some point, God is going to elevate you, and he is going to show that in the end, his word was right.
But we led with this. Even if God shows himself right, there will be people.
Right. That's true.
We were
We did
just
lead with
talking
that.
about the story of Mary and Martha. Jesus came back to save Lazarus, and there was those laying in wait to kill him. The righteous shall be persecuted. The more favor you have, the more persecution you will come under.
I feel like that's something that you have talked to our kids about at an early age, so that when it comes, this is just part of it.
Yeah,
It's not personal.
yeah.
This is part of it. This is what comes with the territory. If you want to be on this level, you're going to have to be ready for this.
Our youngest son, David, got his 3-star. Immediately, people, oh man, how does he get a 3-star? Who is he? What has he done? All these different things. Instead of just saying, hey man, great job, my time's coming. It's who is he? Why does he have
Now,
it?
let me ask you this though.
Mhm.
If David has a friend who, or a teammate, or someone that he looks at in the in the small football community here, that gets a 4-star, 5-star, 3-star, what's his reaction? Like, have we taught him enough to be like, hey man,
Or you're gonna
it's
ask me
rhetorical.
just go and look at his
Look at
his
his posts.
following,
Yeah.
his posts. He congratulates people all the time,
Right.
celebrates with them all the time.
Right.
And that doesn't mean he's any better than anybody else's kid. This is simply the standard for our household.
Right.
We uh we rejoice with those who rejoice.
Yes.
We weep with
Lord,
those who weep.
I need that. Those are the kind of friends I need in my life.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. I was just thinking about something. We always talk about who's on the bus,
Yes.
but who's on the boat.
Who's on the boat?
That's a whole other thing.
Well, okay, wait. I'm not. My connections are not good this early in the morning. Tell me why the difference between the mode of a boat and a bus.
Okay. As we talk about who's on the bus. That the bus is on the ground. It's a place of stability,
Right.
right?
Okay.
But when you're out on the water, it's uncertain. It's unstable. Whether it's unstable, it's dangerous because anything could happen on those waters. And who do you have with you? Are those people of faith? Are those people who are in your core that's going to hold you down when everything seems shaky? Who's on that boat with you? That's a different group. Even Jesus had a different group
in the boat.
Yeah.
That is a whole nother
Yeah,
podcast.
that's a whole nother
Transitioning into
podcast,
who's
yeah.
in the boat. I love it. I think that wraps us up for today. If this conversation gave you courage to step into your new land, even if it looks like a valley, share it with a parent, a coach, or an athlete who needs it. Obedience isn't disloyalty, it's faith. You can find past episodes and resources on our website, podpage.com/coach-dad. That's dad with 3 Ds. And remember, dedication fuels you, discipline shapes you, and development carries you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment wherever you're listening. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.